One of the most insane things about this year's World Rally Championship is the cars. And for Hyundai, that's the 380 horsepower i20 WRC.
So this is our Hyundai i20 Coupe WRC. It's our, let's say, machine for this year's championship. So starting from the aero, on the front end of the car we have all the intake. So this is the intake for the cooling pack of the engine. This is the intake for the brakes, and then you have here the outtake from for the cooling. One very important thing, obviously, with these cars going this fast is to keep the car grounded to the floor. So we use that with all the dive planes, all the fenders that you see, the shape that they have. The splitter is very important just to try to get more aero load, which basically works as weight that pulls the car down to the ground. Then on the rear of the car, obviously everything is detailed. You see the shape of the mirrors, you see the side skirts, and everything is shaped so that the wind affects the minimum to the car possible, but creates the more downforce possible. So the rear wing is our biggest aerodynamic component. It can pull really the car down to the floor. Together with the rear diffuser, you really are stuck to the ground. The quicker you go, the more you feel it, the drag that it creates just to holding the car down. On the suspension side, that's very different from our normal road car, let's say. We have a lot more travel than you would have on your road car, and that is made to cope with the ruts, with the gravel, with the jumps, just to be able to absorb all the movements that we have. If you are wondering why the color of the rims is different, it's basically down to marketing reasons, just to cope with the livery of the car. So on the inside, we do tend to avoid a little bit the comfort of our drivers. Of course, they spend a lot of time on the car, so it is very important that they keep healthy and they are okay to drive, they are not too tired. So all the seats have got what we call a memory foam, so it shapes to their body. The co-driver seat actually has got a padding made for the co-driver, because obviously it doesn't have the wheel to grab, so it's a lot more difficult just to hold in place. All the controls is the same that you would have on your road car, so you have throttle, brake, clutch, but done on a very different way, just to make sure that we can fine-tune it to each driver's liking. On the steering, you have all the buttons that normally you will get across your dashboard. Here is how you shift the gears, and the big lever down here, that's your handbrake. So that's our tablet. No, I'm joking. This is a console we have where all the parameters of the car are followed. So in fact, if there is a problem, or just on your normal driving mode, the same way you would have your dashboard with your onboard computer on the car, we have the same on the rally car. But instead of having the frequency of the radio or your GPS, we have values that actually count for the driver. For example, our fuel, our pressures, and the distances, which is very important on our car. On the driver display, the most important thing is actually the gear which is engaged. On this case is neutral, that's why you have the big end there. And then the screen changes its color when you actually have to shift. It's not really a driver help, it's just to make sure that everything is done to perform to its most. So in the boot, we carry the spare tires, some tools in case the drivers need to do some work on the car. That's our toolbox inside. So inside here we carry some spanners, some wrenches, some lubricants. And then on the rear we have the jack and the Makita when we need to change a tire. Then we have these small nets hanging to the roll cage where basically you can put some of the driver equipment, their hat, their jacket in case they need one. And here we carry our two helmets for the crew. Then on the rear, obviously the two bigger things you see is the wing and the diffuser, but then you also have these holes, the fender with holes on the side. Basically these are used to remove the heat out from the rear wheels, because on the front, as it is directional, you can get some flow, but on the rear, as it is an enclosed surface, we need all these louvers just to make sure that we can suck out as much air as we can. So thanks for the attention. I hope you enjoyed it, and have good fun with your N.